I think the most devastating thing that people need to sort of understand is that we're going to talk about this later today in the podcast, but the fantasy world Brexit, and if the EU gave us everything Rees-Mogg wanted, everything, and we went to World Trade Organization, and everyone said, yes, you can have these new tariffs, you have these new schedules, everything is perfect.
Yes.
The problem is just the fact that we won't have freedom of movement in Europe. Us Brits won't. We won't be able to live, retire, set up a business, build a house, etc. in these countries, means that our economy is going to take a hit. The government say it's going to be between 3 and 5%. That's with a perfect deal. So in order to make up for that, we need to increase our trade with the rest of the world. That sounds fab at first, because there's 160 countries in the world that aren't part of Europe and the EU, and surely we can trade with them. The scary thing is, I'm going to try and improve your geography here. Do you know how many members of the UN there are?
No.
There's 193. And of them, only 35 are seen by the IMF as advanced economies like our own.
Gosh.
Of them, 27 are in Europe.
God, that's really clear. I didn't know that.
Are in the rest of the world. There's none in Africa. There's none in Latin America. There's none in the Caribbean. There's 4 in the whole continent of Asia. They're all far away. It take a long time to get to on cargo ships. I travelled the world on cargo ships. You won't believe the amount of fuel that these things burn up each day.
You should write a book, Graham.
Swimming pools. I have. It's called Man of the World. You should buy it. Man of the World, Graham Hughes. Go to Amazon. Alexa, order it. I'm not going to say that on the radio, am I?
Know what you just did. But hang on a minute. I've been following this very closely, and people like Bernard Jenkin and John Redwood and Nadine Dorries, they keep telling me that we'll be absolutely fine trading under WTO rules because 80% of the world does that.
Yeah, but 80% of the world is poor. I mean, here's a devastating statistic that when I say this to leavers, the jaws hit the ground. There's 54 or maybe 55 countries in Africa if you include Western Sahara. The GDP of all of those countries put together, that includes all the gold sold in a year from South Africa, all the diamonds from Botswana, all the oil from Angola, put together is half the GDP of France. And why are we going to sell them? We only make luxury goods. We make goods and services for affluent people. There's not a farmer in Chad who really needs financial services from someone in Canary Wharf.
All right, Chuckles. Is there any good news?
Well, I can't see how it could happen. Well,
what about all the countries that don't have any? What about all those countries that don't have trading agreements? Because when we come out at the end of March of next year, we'll have absolutely no trading agreements in place at all. There must be loads of thriving countries. They keep telling us that we'll be fine. There must be loads of thriving countries that don't have any trade agreements in place at all. Can you name a couple?
Someone said Mauritania, but apparently they've got a deal.
They've got preferential trade agreements because,
iron ore,
everything but arms.
2014. Yeah.
In other words, they're so poor they can trade tariff-free with the EU as long as it's not guns.